Evening from the AJ Palumbo Center, fresh off of the Duquesne men's basketball team coming away with a 72-57 victory over Maryland Eastern Shore. And that is now 7 for 7, and in honor of the sportsbook, I guess lucky number 7, we're playing the slots and taking the numbers. So Duquesne is now 7 for 7 on the season at the AJ Palumbo Center, and that's now 12 non-conference home wins in a row at the AJ Palumbo Center. So some good streaks for Duquesne men's basketball, some good signs, but quite honestly, that might be just about where the positive stops. This is an Eastern Shore team that entered this game with one win, and really Duquesne, to quote the late Denny Green, kind of let them off the hook in this game. Just some missed defensive assignments, some lulls, some lack of ball movement at times, just not much in terms of team-oriented to like, but individually there were things to like. Lamar Norman had 5 rebounds within the first 2 minutes of this game, guys, and it was almost double-double watch. He finished just shy of that, but the energy Lamar Norman brought, and now that's in successive games, and now this is now consecutive starts, these are all very good signs for him. And the easy thing to do for him would have been to listen to his father's advice that he tweeted about earlier on Twitter, which was to leave Duquesne. You're not getting the playing time that the father felt the son deserved, and now he is, and he's riding it, and it's what it is. Keith Dambrot's going to ride the hot hand with this team. That's very, very apparent. And you saw that again tonight, and Norman started a majority of minutes, and he rode those minutes. He scored points, he had rebounds, he filled the lane, he made several positive plays. Dambrot's also challenged Marcus Weathers. He said earlier in the season that Marcus Weathers has been, quote, just okay. And 11-11's not just okay. That's your first double-double in a Duquesne uniform, and given how this game went, the margin of score against a one-win team, they needed every bit of those positive plays. So that's very positive as well. Sincere Carey did sincere Carey things. 12 points and then a 7-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. That's going to get the job done on most nights, and he didn't need to be a star player, and he didn't really need to do much, not just because this is a one-win team that they face, but also because there were so many other players that, in terms of individual accomplishments, did a lot. Now, there was a little bit of a letdown at the end of the first half where you take a 22-point lead and drop that down to 15, and then you come out of the break a little lethargic and flat, and it was, again, an inopportune thing, but Duquesne is able to do that now. Now is the chance to do this. You're facing the first of 2 one-win teams. Maine on Sunday, the doubleheader that begins at 12, is another team that has not had much success this season, so another opportune time for Duquesne to capitalize on that. Looking further at the statistics, fast break points, Duquesne took advantage of 11 turnovers, turning that into 26 points. That's a positive. 14 players played, 10 scored, 10 grabbed rebounds, both walk-ons, and Zach Snyder, Caleb Davis both had a chance to play, and you saw Eric Williams pumping up the crowd, the players on the bench following suit. Noticeable absences in Eric Williams Jr. and Tavian Dunn-Martin not playing the first half. Reportedly, coach's decision, maybe a little bit of discipline going on. Coach did go out of his way to praise Lamar Norman and also call him a team player, which could have been praise for Lamar Norman, but also could be perceived as a double meaning, which obviously being maybe a little bit of a sign that these guys still have to click. They have to suck up and get their minutes, and they have to be team players in practice. And if you're not going to do that, you're not going to be a part of the team, then you're just not going to play. And those two didn't play in the first half, and you can draw your own conclusions on that. But those are 2 guys that are able to contribute to the stat sheet in a variety of ways, and for 20 minutes you didn't see them. And when you look at the plus minuses at the end of the day, those 2 were very low in the red, were very, very much in the red. And obviously the walk-ons are their walk-ons. You're not going to count that 4 against them. They only played 27 seconds or so. But those 2, in the few minutes they did play, the other team was getting a lot of points. And it's one of those things where maybe the shoulders were dropped, you're not playing right away, maybe subconsciously that happens, maybe you underplay, trying to play down to competition, maybe it's just some hurt feelings. It's hard to say what it is, but whatever it is, this is the time to figure that out and iron those kinks out and just come together as part of a team. Regardless of whether a team's succeeding or not, a lot of times it's very ego-driven. And it's better to figure that out now versus January 5th when the team travels to face the Davidson team that's at the top of the conference right now. So it's better to get these hardships out of the way now, get some questions answered, figure out your rotation, figure out who's a team player, figure out who's not, and then figure out the rest later. All this is going to have to continue to be answered. There's still plenty of work to do, but for now, Duquesne will have to take a 15-point victory tonight, which I'm sure they're happy to do so. A win is a win, regardless of how pretty, which by no means was this game pretty. By no means is Heidi Klum going to host Project Runway over this game. It's just not pretty by any stretch, but you know what? pretty just doesn't matter in basketball. You just don't worry about the style points, although the alley-oop that Sincere Carey threw to Marcus Weathers was about the best style points you saw for tonight, and maybe the crescendo of the game. But for tonight, we're just going to call it a 72-57 Duquesne win and move on to Sunday and see what happens on Sunday against a Maine Black Bears team that Duquesne should have a good opportunity to have success at. But again, for David Haig behind the camera, Zachary Weiss, Pittsburgh Sports Now, thank you so much, and we'll see you on Sunday.